I've reinforced my unit, and my working thread and my tail thread are in the same bead. I'm going to just flip this around 90 degrees so that I can show you what I'm doing here. Flipping it here this way so that this thread with exiting up this way on the top, what I'm just going to do is just find the next 3 millimeter bead in line, and that's this one here. Just going to pass the needle through here. I promise you I'm going to do this today. So sometimes that happens, okay? I cannot find, not that I can't find it, but I'm trying to stay on camera, keep the piece, use my dexterity to keep the piece so that you can see what I'm trying to outline here. But it didn't end up working out that way. So I pass my needle through that round bead, and I'm going to flip it again another 90 degrees and find the next round bead in line, which is going to be the opposite side or the back of this piece. And what I'm going to do is stabilize it now by making it round, making a unit. You can see it on the other side there where I picked up a round and I went through the next round, picked up a round, and I'm going through the next round. Well, that's what I'm going to do on this side, and I hope to be able to do it so that you can see me. All right, so stringing on around, making sure that I'm going into the proper bead, and I am, because I can only see one round bead here. So I'm passing it through this bead here. Trying not to get my tail caught up in that. And I didn't remember to say that, you could always make this a bracelet component and make a bracelet out of it, or a brooch. All right, so I'm stringing on the next 3 millimeter round, and I'm passing my needle into the next one in line, which is this one, because the embellishments are on top. Making sure I'm trying not to get my tail thread caught up in there, and I'm trying not to be tangled. All right, I'm just going to flip it around this way a little bit, string on another 3 millimeter round, and pass my needle into this bead here. I'm just holding it so that the piece doesn't come apart. And the last, stringing on my last 3 millimeter round, and I'm going to pass it back into the round bead where I started, and that is this one here. And I'm going to do that today, I promise. All right, now so this is what we have. Of course, it's wonky and loose because it hasn't been reinforced, but I'm going to do that right now. But I'm going to turn off the camera while I do it, and then I'll come back. I'll see you in a minute. So that looks a lot better now that it is reinforced. And I'm coming out of the bead where I started, and the reason I on the back where I started, and the reason I know that is because my tail thread is here at the same, right across. So we're going to continue this, and I'm going to finish this off with you right now. I already took the liberty of stringing on, because these round beads are something else, of stringing on 2 2mm rounds, a 3 millimeter crystal, and 2 more 2mm rounds. And you recognize this with my thread that is exiting this bottom round bead here. I'm going to pass my needle into this 3mm round right here. Okay, we've done this together before. And when I pull the thread, I'm going to hopefully not have a mess. My friend Kelly says a hot mess. By the way, you should watch her videos, Kelly Dale off the Beaded Path. She's great. She's my first beading teacher. All right, so from here now, you know the drill. What we're gonna do is, I'm gonna turn it this way so that I can see what I'm doing, and it's getting a little clustered in there. So I want you to see what I'm doing. So these are the beads I just strung on, and I'm exiting this 3mm round bead here. Of course, what we do is now is string on a 2mm round and pass the needle into this 2mm round, the one that's right next to the crystal, and the crystal, and the subsequent 2mm round. Is that it? Yes. Pass your needle into those 3 beads right there. Okay, and we already know what the drill is. I'm going to tighten up on my thread so that I don't have a big mess. I'm going to put my tail back here, and I'm holding on to the work so that it doesn't become distorted. And then when I pull this thread, we have the setup for that center crystal that's going to hold this thing together. Can we see? Yes. And string on another 2mm round, pass the needle into this bottom 3mm round where we started. Okay, is it my eyesight or are we blurry? All right. So that's what we have, our center crystal embellishment, and it's really off-sided, and we know why it's off-sided, because we haven't reinforced it yet. So you already know what I'm going to do from here. I'm going to reinforce this embellishment, and I'm going to go back around this way and add the same exact embellishment. And once I do that, this component will be complete. So I'm going to turn off the camera, and I'm going to do all those things, and when I turn the camera back on, we will have a completed component. Stay tuned. Well, here I am now with my my embellishments done on both sides, and of course reinforced, but we still don't have a sturdy unit, and that's because I did not do a proper craw tighten up like I did at the bottom. I need to put a stitch in the ditch, a sturdy stitch in the ditch, in order to solidify my project. Otherwise I'm just going to have a wonky mess. We don't want that. We want it to be sturdy. So with my thread exiting this 3mm bead here, I'm going to reposition by passing into the 3mm bead here that I added. That's in order to make the complete, in order to get the unit done. So that's the one that I added right there. And I'm going into that so that I can get myself into the proper position. I got to get my tail thread out of the way and pull here. And I have to sit my hand down so I don't move out of the viewfinder. I keep doing that, and that is not good. All right, now this is the bead that I want to be in, this one right here. So I'm passing my needle into that 3mm bead right there, and that is where I'm going to add my stitch in the ditch. Okay, remember that when I added the stitch in the ditch for some sturdiness? Well, I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to string on a 2mm round bead, and I'm going to turn my work 90 degrees, and I'm going to find the next 3mm, which is right here, and I'm passing my needle right in there. Okay. And let's see if it'll pop into place. Yep, it popped right there. I don't know if you saw that. Then I'm going to string on another 2mm round. I'm going to turn my piece this way. My thread is exiting out of this 3mm bead right here, if you can see that, and I'm just going to pass my needle into the next 3mm bead right there. And when I pull this, I should be able to see the famous popping into place happen. I'm going to pull the thread right now. Uh-oh, what happened? I didn't get the famous pop into place. Okay, well, it's in there because you can see it right there. Okay, stringing on one 2mm round bead, and I'm going to turn my work 90 degrees this way, and I'm going to see the next 3mm bead in line, which is right here. I don't know if you can see it. I can't move beads out of the way this time because we have a three-dimensional item here. So coming out of here, we are going into this 3mm bead right here. See that? I'm going to pull this thread. Hopefully you'll be able to see the famous pop into place. There it is. And one more. String on the 2mm round. Once I find it, once I can get into the hole here. All right, found that. Okay, and then I'm going to turn the work, the 90 degrees here, and I'm going from this 3mm here, where you just saw me enter, and I'm going to go into this next one in line right here. And you'll know that that's the next one in line because right after it, you see the 2mm. And I just want to go into that 3mm for now. I don't want to go into the 2mm, just wanted to go into the 3mm for now. And maybe we'll get to see the pop into place this time. Well, I tried. I wanted you to see it. Okay, now that side is done. Now look at the difference that made here. That's not going anywhere. We're wonk free on this side, but we have to, and I don't want to reinforce that until after I get the other side done. So how am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to pass my needle, because we're coming out of the 3mm. I'm going to pass my needle into that 3mm bead that I added, and that's this one right here. Just that one right there. And into this next one that's in line here. That's the one where we begin our embellishments. We're going to go into the other bead here that we added, just that 3mm right there. Oh. Here, okay, that one. I forgot my television was up. Now, one more. We're gonna be repositioned right in this 3mm right here. Right here, okay? And right there is where we're going to begin stringing on our stitch in the ditch bead. Okay, I don't know why I'm losing my thread. All right, so we know the drill. String on a 2mm round bead and pass our needle into, turn our work 90 degrees and find the 3mm bead where we need to enter into. And so we're coming out here. We're going to go into this. Come on, I apologize for that. My camera ran out of whatever it was doing. It went on break. So what I was doing was I was adding my stitch in the sturdy stitch in the ditch beads. I have a 2mm strung on, and I pass my needle into this 3mm bead here. I'm pulling the thread, and hopefully we will see that pop right there into place. There you go, the famous pop into place. Now I'm stringing on another 2mm, and there you go. And I'm going to turn my work 90 degrees. And you see the next 3mm bead in line right here. I'm going to pass my needle into there and pull the thread, and pull the thread off the needle, of course, and untangle the thread. All right, and pop that bead. See it there? Pop it right there into place. Well, it didn't do the famous pop, but it's in there. It's right there. And I will get my You need to get a couple more of these out. Oop. String on a 2mm. Is my needle on? Oh, yeah, my needle is on. String on a 2mm. Where am I? And my needle, I'm coming out right here. I'm turning my work so that you could see. I need to be going into this 3mm bead right here. Right there. That's when I'm going into that 3mm bead right there. It's really down, it's right in there. All right. And I believe I need one more. Yes, I do. String on 2mm and pass the needle into this 3mm right here where we started. Right there. Oop, sorry about that. Right there. Now we have got, it's so sturdy that now it's not that wonky mess anymore. But what I need to do now is to reinforce where I just added those sturdy stitches, and then I'm going to work my tie off magic and get rid of my working thread and my tail thread by tying knots. But this part of the special project video is complete. This is the cross that I wanted to make, and some lucky winner is going to receive this cross. And but this is the part, concludes this part of the video. What I'm going to do now is turn off the camera and do all of my reinforcements and tie off my threads. And then when I turn the camera back on, we're gonna do the chain for it. How about that? This is a real special project. All right, I'll see you then.